YouTube live. Don't do these very often. I usually do these over on Instagram. So if you do want to catch more of these live streams, check me out on Instagram. But this morning I am live here on YouTube. And this, guys, is my Kicking Mustang Concealment System 4.0 ghillie suit. And the pattern this is called Woodland Floor. This is a brand new ghillie suit that I've produced. It's coming out this week. It's going to be shipping to retailers this week. There's going to be 4 different varieties. The one you're looking at here is the Woodland Floor variety. It's probably the lightest of the 4 different varieties that are coming out. Designed specifically for dry winter, perhaps early spring, perhaps late autumn, winter, early springtime is when it's best used for, when the ground is dry, there's dead leaves on the floor and it's bleached. So what I'm doing today, I'm taking my KMCS 4.0 ghillie suit and I'm doing some a little bit of crafting to it. Not much, but I want to share with you guys the techniques that I do use for the majority of my ghillie suit builds, because no matter how good the ghillie suit is you buy off the shelf, and I think the 4.0 suit is pretty good, you still need to do a little bit of crafting to it. Now, to craft, this morning what I'm using is a material called adaptive ghillie mesh. Now, the leaves you see around you, these summer leaves, let's see if we can pick one up. This kind of green here on a leaf has a very unique property that when light hits it, it becomes a very, very vivid green color. Now, you can't just create that with cotton. Like here, I'm wearing a pair of just camouflage BDUs. The green on here, you can see, is a very, very different type of shade. When the light hits that green leaf down here, it has this very vivid green look that is created from the chlorophyll in the leaves. Now, you can't just do that with cotton. You have to, well, how to do it is using a special sort of material that I call adaptive ghillie mesh. And you can see here, when the light hits this material, it has that same vivid look as a green leaf. You see how it's mimicking the effect of the green leaf as the light hits it. That's the secret to the vast majority of my ghillie suit builds. Using this adaptive ghillie mesh, you'll be able to create this very vivid, lifelike, natural vegetation look. When you get the adaptive ghillie mesh, it comes in a big bundle like this. You got there's 3 colors in the basic set. You get a light, a medium, and a dark color. And to prepare your adaptive ghillie mesh, you take a bundle like this. You need a pair of scissors. I've got a pair of scissors down here, and you snip it off. And I will snip it. See, I'm snipping it there at an angle. That will create a jagged edge to it. So you're going to create a jagged edge, and then what you're going to do, you're going to take micro cable ties like these. They're 2.5mm brown micro cable ties, and you're going to thread it through your suit. Now, hopefully YouTube's going to allow me to zoom in. It does. Right, let's zoom in down here. So you take the material you're going to be crafting. The KMCS ghillie suits that you're looking at here, the material it's made out of, the base mesh, it's unlike traditional ghillie suits, it's very lightweight, but it's also really strong and really breathable. And what this means is it's got lots of little holes in it, which allows you to thread micro cable ties through like that. And I will cover the areas of the suit that I'm going to craft in these micro cable ties in little rings like this. And then that's going to allow you to take your adaptive ghillie mesh. I tend to put 2 pieces together. I crumple it up like this. I will then take the loop of the micro cable tie that I've attached to my KMCS ghillie suit, threading it through, pull it tight but not all the way, and I will then separate out the buds and tighten it up there, and take the scissors and I'll snip off the cable tie. zoom back out here. And so what I'm going to do, let's spin this camera around. So what I'm going to be doing is creating areas of this blotches of this adaptive ghillie mesh over the suit, and the idea is to create an area. A suit is going to match an area similar to this. You can have blotches of the green on the suit, and that's what I'm doing, guys, using these modern techniques, modern materials to create that suit that you see behind me. So I'm going to try and answer questions. Bear says he bets some headshot Karens are watching. They always do, mate. They're my biggest fans. West in the future from San Diego. How you doing? David, thank you, mate. Appreciate that. James Ashworth says he's been watching since you started your channel and love your videos. Thank you, mate. If you are just joining the channel, if you are just joining this stream, can I zoom it out further? There we go. If you are just joining this stream, behind me is the new KMCS 4.0 ghillie suit, which is going to be released this week. It's going to head over to retailers. It's launching in Europe first, and then it's going to get sent over. There's a shop in Japan that's going to be stocking it. There's also a shop, a couple of shops in America and Canada as well. Oscar is over in Malaysia. How you doing over there? Isn't it amazing how the internet allows us to reach so many people? Greg over in Australia, Richard in Norway, Charlie Harris, how you doing, buddy? Yeah, so down to the bottom of the comments, Oscout Beach Co says, what kind of goggle mesh can lower the shine of the lenses? Well, I don't use clear mesh. I don't use clear lens goggles. I wear flat steel goggles, and I paint them. If you are using clear goggles, you can get mesh that goes a sort of a film mesh that goes over it. And I haven't used it myself, but I know a lot of guys that do use it, so it's probably worth looking at that. So this morning, if you are just joining the live stream this morning, I'm using some simple techniques and my Kicking Mustang Concealment System adaptive ghillie mesh to create lifelike green vegetation on the suits. The reason, at least at the moment, the reason why this adaptive ghillie mesh doesn't come pre-installed on the suit is because, as you see, the techniques that I'm using to apply it, it's quite labor intensive, shall we say. It's not hard. The techniques are pretty simple. Like, I'm taking this adaptive ghillie mesh, I'm taking a couple of pieces of it together, I'm pinching it together like this, and then I'm threading it through the micro cable ties. See for this one, threading it through the micro cable tie, pulling the micro cable tie shut, opening up the adaptive ghillie mesh like a bit of a flower, tightening it, and then snipping this micro cable tie off. Now, that is why it doesn't come applied, because to apply this to your suit, not only is it quite labor intensive, it's also very specific for the area you're going to be playing in. So you could have, like, most of the woodland around where I play is pretty similar, so I could create a specific suit specifically for that woodland. But like any camouflage, the more specific the camouflage gets for that environment, the less effective it is for other environments. So you can have a camouflage like multicam, which works in a lot of different environments, but it isn't particularly effective in many of them. Or you could craft a suit that is very, very effective in the environment that we're in at the moment, but it may not be very effective if you're going to play in a pine forest, for example. Attach, pull, snip, tighten, and cut off. Now, that's the basic technique. The other thing that I'm also considering, as we touched on earlier in the live stream, is the shape that I'm applying these buds of adaptive ghillie mesh. Depending on the type of year and the environment you're going to be in, you might want a suit that's majoritively covered in green stuff. You might want a suit that only have areas. So let's ignore the suit for a minute and look at the shape behind us here. What I'm looking to do, you see we've got this green area here, we've got these bright green areas here, we've got a few splodges of green around here. So what I'm trying to do in my mind, I'm envisaging taking this area in the background and forming it onto the suit. Taking these, imagining these kind of areas here, and I want them to form on the suit so that the suit is then going to blend in with the background and the foreground and the ground. That comes with practice, and the best way of doing it is to get out into this natural environment that I'm in now. So I've come out to a woodland, I put my suit onto a stand, and I'm crafting it and matching it to what I see in the background. I do see a lot of guys when they are crafting suits, they sit in their bedroom, they get into it, and they're indoors and they craft and they craft and they don't stop and they keep on crafting because it's quite addictive. It's quite once you get into it, you can kind of craft and you think this looks great, I'll do more of this and more of this, and all of a sudden they have this massive bush suit, and just because it's covered in this green stuff doesn't mean it's going to necessarily blend in. If you imagine this entire suit was covered solid green and it was in the background here, you would have a man-shaped green blob. In the same way that when you look in the sky and you look at clouds and your brain sees things, whether it's the cloud looks like the shape of a dragon or a shape of a man in the sky, your brain, if this suit is all one shape, all one shade of green, or all one shape of brown, and you've got the head and shoulder shape and the arms and the legs, people are still going to recognize it as a man. So by applying these areas of green, like we're seeing in the background, this blob of green here, the splashes of green here, and applying them onto the suit in the pattern as the background, I'm disrupting that human shape. That's my plan, and that only comes from practice. So if you are crafting inside and you don't have access to woodland, do a little bit of time, like spend a few hours doing it. Take it out into the woodland, place it like we're placing here, and then see how it looks. Have a look at it. You've got to be critical of yourself. So does it match this environment I'm going to be playing in? If it doesn't, take bits off, start again, and go from there. David, thanks, bro. I appreciate that. Sniper99 is asking which retailers are going to stock these KMCS 4.0 ghillie suits. In the US, there's going to be ghillied-up.com, which is actually based in Canada. In the US, it's going to be Amped Airsoft. They're not going to be in the first batch, which is completed this week and being sent to retailers this week. It should be in the next batch, which is going to be in 2 weeks' time. You'll get them in the US. Oscar says, yeah, if it falls over on the jungle floor, it'd be hard to spot. I do have a dog, but the dog's not here, actually. The dog's not here today. So Sniper's asking about what my ghillie suits come with. So when you do get the 4.0 ghillie suit that you see here in the background, it comes with a schmock and it comes with trousers. And it also comes with the first 100 actually also come with a balaclava as well. Let's take it off and I'll show you it when it's on me. Now the suit is really good out of the box. Like you can see how well it does match the forest floor underneath me. But like any suit, a little bit of crafting is going to go a long way. You can see I've just got little bits of green splashes on here. I'm going to help blend it in. So even though I haven't gamed with this suit yet, I will be in the next week or two be gaming with it. So you can see it here on me. What you've also got in the background, this is a bear mesh suit without any leaves on at all. Because this is going to be a winter suit, I'm not applying loads of this green adaptive ghillie mesh, only splashes of it. Michael says, is the shine on the cable ties going to show. No, well, these are snipped off, mate. There is a little bit of shine on it. You are right, but they are snipped off. When it's applied and you cut it off, see, that's a loop that I'm going to apply. But this is a bud here, and there's no cable tie visible. Right, let's pop it back on the mannequin. I'm not sure I'm going to stay live too much longer because I've only, this process, I would say, to complete this suit is probably going to take me, to get it ready to game with, is probably going to take me the best part of 4 or 5 hours to get it ready to game with. And then once it is ready to game with, as the seasons change, it's always going to be a process of adapting your suit. One of the other things I haven't got with me that I wanted to show you was using raffia. So what I might do a reel. So when I finish this live now, I'm going to probably do some close-up recordings, and I'm going to pop it into a reel just to show the basic techniques of how I apply adaptive ghillie mesh, cottons, and raffia. They're the 3 main materials I use. I'll pop it up onto a short reel and I'll post it on the channel for you guys. So if you want to take a real closer look of the techniques I use, we can do that. Chelsea, my day's been going good, mate, so far. Thank you. Yeah, looking all right, isn't it? It looks all right in this kind of environment. If anybody's got any questions, feel free to fire away. Very happy to answer any questions anybody's got about ghillie crafting, airsoft, making videos. And what would you guys like to see me do more lives like this? Because I had one of the YouTube representatives popped onto a phone call with me, asking me, suggesting to me to do more live videos with you guys. Now, one of the problems with doing live videos, I can't have anything that looks like a GUNS on here. It's flagged by the algo. So if I do live streams like this, all I can really do is ghillie crafting or Q&As. I can't show you any of those GUNSs that I use because the algo will see them and flag them. But what I can do is live streams doing ghillie crafting and Q&As. Usually I do those on Instagram. It's not something I do too often on YouTube. But what do you guys want? If you do want to see me do some more stuff on YouTube, what do you reckon? Should I stick to Instagram or do it on here as well? David asked, how long does it take you to make? Well, the whole suit. Well, the whole suit, I work with a tailor. So my design has been, I first came up with the design with a friend of mine called Yanni from Finland, also known as ghillie1 on Instagram. And the design has kind of progressed a little bit since then. And there's a few little extra features that have added to it. But in terms of the actual making of it, it probably takes half to put the suit together. I would suspect it takes the tailor maybe about half a day to cut it, sew it, and put it together. But to actually craft a suit, to get it ready to game with, probably another 4 or 5 hours on top of that. Sniper99 is saying that somebody who live streams helps to amplify your content. People know things aren't going to be productive level, but they are to amplify. This is the problem. This is the thing. One, honestly, guys, I'm a little bit worried about doing too many live streams on YouTube because the algo is a funny thing. And my production values, if you followed me on Instagram and Facebook, you'll know that my production values are not great. It's like this, shaky camera. I don't have a studio. I just get out here and I have a selfie camera. And I'm worried that perhaps the algo is not going to like it so much. I like live streaming. I tend to do it on Instagram, but I'm going to try doing more on here. Game Snack is saying, are we waiting for the suits soon? Yeah, the suits are launching this week. They're going to be shipping to retailers in Europe this week. And in 2 weeks' time, they're going to be going out to America and Japan. Is this ghillie suit can be used in actual warfare? It could be, yeah. Don't see why not. What's the sidearm I used in the team up video? It's a Tokyo Marui HK45. Nick is asking about the hot lips on the MK23. The hot lips on the MK23 make it a smoother action, feeding better, it doesn't help with loading. Some people in the comments are asking about the different colors the new 4.0 ghillie suit comes in. The one you're looking at here is the woodland floor. You can see why it's called woodland floor variety. There's going to be definitely 3, probably 4 varieties. There's going to be the wooden floor, there's going to be a dark forest. Now, this wooden floor variety is actually not perfect for where I am now. Where I am now, it's been raining quite heavily, so the ground has gone quite dark, and the leaves, which are often very pale around here, have also gone a darker colour because of the rain that we've had, which has sodden the leaf litter and the floor. If I was actually going to be gaming in this environment, I'd probably use the dark forest environment, the dark forest variety that is also coming, which has got a slightly darker base mesh, and the leaves are more orange and more grey. These leaves are quite bleached, quite a light colour, like you get towards the end of the winter, spring seasons. So I'd probably be using a dark forest in this environment. And the variety is the evergreen, which is looking really, really good. And I can't show you that today, but that is on the way. And there's also going to be an autumn variety as well. So there's going to be 4. Chelsea asked if I've been to Arkansas. No, I have not. Hadley asked what I think is the best airsoft pistol. In my opinion, if I could only have one airsoft pistol for most of my airsoft career, I've always said the Tokyo Marui MK23. The reason is because I would happily go to pretty much any airsoft event anywhere in the world with just an MK23 pistol. It can lift heavy BBs. It's got a really good range. It's quiet and it's accurate. It's small, compact, and light. It's effectively a pocket sniper. But since the Hadron released the TDC outer barrel for the HK45, I've been using that a lot more. That's super accurate. The only thing is a little bit louder, but I can get rounds on target a bit better. So for me, it's a toss between those two: the Tokyo Marui HK45 with Hadron TDC and the Tokyo Marui MK23 with upgrades. B-Fam's asking, can I make a video where you camouflage with all your airsoft unit and we're trying to locate you? Potentially, but that's kind of what I do every game day, mate, isn't it, really? So people are always trying to hunt me. Can you save the stream? I'm at work and can watch. No problem, mate. Yeah, this will be saved, dude. I'll save this stream, no problem. Matt asked what my primary airsoft gun is. It changes a lot. I'll probably say probably my MK23 pistol, and then everything else revolves around that. Sometimes I don't use it, but most of the time I have it on me. Is asking a good question here. In your opinion, is the ideal would be to have several different suits depending on the environment, or is it better to adapt a basic one to each situation? It's a great question. The answer is yes. I probably own that I use and field. I probably regularly field 5 different suits. I think if I lost everything and I had to start again, I would probably start again with 2 ghillie suits. I'd have one like this one behind me, this forest floor variety, in the light browns with maybe just a little bit of crafting for those winter, early spring, late autumn months. And then I would have a green suit for summertime. So probably I would suggest you probably need 2. Now, you can just adapt it as the year goes round. And if I was just going to have one suit and I was going to buy one suit, it would be the Forest Floor KMCS 4.0. The reason I've created the KMCS suit in the first place is because it's it has all the advantages of a ghillie suit without any of the drawbacks. So traditional ghillie suits tend to be bulky, heavy, and very hot and not very breathable. The KMCS suit is very, very lightweight. The mesh it's made out of is incredibly strong. It's also really breathable. So I've worn these KMCS suits in temperatures up to, say, 40 degrees centigrade down in southern Spain and Texas in America and in South Africa. And if you just wear a wicking layer underneath, like on the tight lycra sports tops, then the wind goes straight through you. It's very, very breathable. So it has all the advantages. Now, if I was just going to have one, it would be this one, and I would adapt it as the year went round. So during the summer, I'd add loads of this, loads of the adaptive ghillie mesh to it for the summer months. As the summer comes to an end, I would start removing the adaptive ghillie mesh and add on cottons, potentially for golden browns as the autumn and fall comes. And as the autumn turns into winter, I would then start to remove those golden browns and oranges and leave it bare like this into the early spring until the spring comes. And then I'd start adding back on the adaptive ghillie mesh as the spring comes. So you can have one suit and evolve it as it goes. It's a great question. There's really a right answer. Personally, I have 5 suits I rotate around during the year, depending on the environment and where I'm playing. But there's definitely is an option to have one suit and rotate it, and it's a constant evolving process of constantly evolving your suit as the seasons change. Do we have Spanish moss in the UK like they do in Florida? I'm not sure that is, my friend. Nuba asked about the balaclavas. The balaclavas are coming back. They're not going to be available at launch. All the balaclavas that we've made at launch for the KMCS 4.0, they're being given away. The first 100 suits that go on sale, I'm giving away a free balaclava. It's back on dummy. I have to take it off. What website shop would you recommend to buy a ghillie suit? Random Bastion says it depends where you are in the country or where you are in the world, mate. In the UK, Empire Airsoft. Europe, Mantis or ESC. America, ghilliedup.com or Amped Airsoft. Dan Farron, I've never been to the National Airsoft Festival. I'm probably not going this year. Having said that, I may pop down to say hello to a few people. Benny asks, how many ghillies do I have? I have a whole wardrobe full of ghillie suits. I've recently just completed one of my rare ghillie suits. I've got an Israeli IDF ghillie suit. I just found the headpiece for it. I've just managed to get hold of a headpiece to complete it. I might show that off in a Instagram post. Prototype Gamings says, in his opinion, ghillie suits aren't worth it to build because he sees a lot of ghillie dudes who make much noise and move too much, and he doesn't think that's why it's worth it. So, Prototype Gaming, that's a really good point. Ghillie suits, the way I look at ghillie suits, this ghillie suit, obviously it's not moving and it blends in really nicely. A ghillie suit will amplify your ability at hide and seek. So look at it as a multiplier. So having a really good ghillie suit will have a really high multiplier to your skill. If you have 0 skill to start with, like you're running around, not moving, making too much noise, it doesn't matter how much you multiply that, it's just not going to be worth having a ghillie suit. And you are right. So you are better. You need to have some ability to hide, and you need to have some knowledge of how to play hide and seek, and you need to know how you blend into the environment. You cannot expect to just buy a suit like this and become like Predator. You won't be able to completely mimic what you see in my videos by just buying this suit. However, if you do have some ability at hide and seek and you know how to lay down, you know how to hide, you know how to stay out the sunshine, like we are now in the really bright sunshine, things like that, this will help you. There's no doubt about it. And unlike a normal ghillie suit, this is not going to have the negatives of really heavy. You're not going to get super hot and sweaty, and it's very lightweight. It's still going to be maneuverable. It's got all the benefits of a traditional ghillie suit, but with none of those drawbacks. So even though that comment, I have a lot of sympathy for that, if you have any ability at hiding and sneaking, a ghillie suit's going to help you. Even if it's just camouflage in your head, just having like a hood on or a boonie is going to help a lot. Game Snack, yes, when they're launched, they come with the top, the trousers, and the balaclava at launch. After launch, though, the first 100, they get the free balaclava. After launch, you just get the top and the bottoms. The balaclava you have to purchase separately. Would I wear a ghillie suit on a date night? Yeah, definitely. Why not? Do you still add those dyed fabric leaves? No, the dyed fabric leaves, the old sneaky leaves I used to use, they do have an effect that they can add a lot of texture to your suit. The problem with those leaves is they aren't made out of this adaptive ghillie mesh. So what that means is they don't react to light in the same way that natural vegetation does. You can see here when it goes from the shade to the light, it becomes a really vivid color. I don't know whether the camera's picking it up particularly well, but it becomes this very, very vivid green color when it's in the sunshine, and when it's in the shade, it reacts in the same way that natural leaves do. Now, those artificial leaves you can pick up relatively cheaply, or you can buy as ghillie leaves or 3D leaves for crafting. They look all right. Like, I'm not saying they're rubbish, but they don't have the same effect as adaptive ghillie mesh, and they don't react to light in the same way, which is why I don't really use them. Usually, my suits might have one on them as kind of, it's almost a souvenir, um, like a keepsake from the old days. But no, I don't. I don't look to use them anymore. John Paz is watching from Colombia. Good to see you, my friend. Thanks for watching over there. What's stuff like in Colombia, John Paz? Do you have any good fields or mill sims over there? So Gamer Snacks is saying about ghillie suits being really big and bulky. The thing about this KMCS suit is, let me show you. Like, let's take it off. There's the balaclava. We'll take this underneath. I've actually got a bare mesh suit on there. So this is the schmock, and each of the KMCS ghillie suits, it comes with this built-in bag. Now, a lot of people, once they've done crafting, they will remove this bag. They'll cut it off and use it for crafting. But this bag allows you to take your suit and stuff it inside. Not only do you get the schmock in there, you can actually also get the trousers in there as well. So it's not particularly big to pack, is it? Um, Silent Guardian says, I assume we have to wait for it to reach all the stores, so I assume it won't launch this week and next week to all the stores. Um, kind of. It's going to 3 stores in Europe. It's going to ESC in Italy, it's going to Mantis Concept Brothers in Germany, and it's going to Empire Airsoft in the UK, first of all. After it's landed there and we do the launch, production will go full speed ahead. So we're going to check everything. Everything should be QC'd at that point. And we're happy with everything and how it's all going ahead and being produced. We will launch worldwide. We've already got shops arranged in Japan. Yeah, no, I get you. The Prototype Gaming, who was talking about moving around too much. If it doesn't fit your game style, it's probably why he doesn't see it. So for taking the fun out of ghillie suits, the thing is, it doesn't necessarily change your style. When I was playing in Belgium with the AppOps guys, the UK CQB guys, and we were transitioning from playing in buildings, and then we're moving across the buildings. We have to go through open areas, and when we stopped, they were like, "Where's Mustang?" And I'm like, "I'm right next to you, boys," because you don't. because they're so light, because the KMCS suit is so light and breathable, you could have just a Cobra hood on, and with a little bit of crafting, you can pretty much be invisible by just stopping and not moving. So unless you're playing somewhere which is purely CQB, you can always have a little bit of concealment. It could just be a helmet cover, it could just be gloves, it could just be a bit of webbing. But any amount of concealment is going to help somewhat. So I see what you're saying, but I think I disagree. Johnny, I'm going to get some patches made. The last time I made patches was in 2017, I think I made some. Game Snack says the same thing as me, yeah. Josh Tracy says I'm amazing. Thank you, bro. I'm not amazing, I just love what I'm doing. I love what I do and I love sharing it with you guys. Have I played on the East Coast of USA in the summer? I played up in, was it Milwaukee? I'm near Chicago. And it was summertime. And you need a green suit. I played down in Texas and you would need a light suit like this. Is there any plan for the KMCS Cobra hood? Yes, 100%. The KMCS Cobra hoods are on the way. They're not going to launch this week. They're going to be coming in 2-3 weeks time. Hopefully I'll have something to show you guys in a couple of weeks. So yeah, Cobra hood question, good one. Adman is asking about NAF, the National Airsoft Event in the UK. I don't have any plans to come. That's not to say that I'm not going to go, but we'll see. We'll see. Probably I would say no, it's unlikely, but we'll see. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to crack on with a bit more of this crafting. I want to say thank you very much for everybody for joining. Thanks for contributing to the comments. Thanks for asking questions and interacting. Appreciate that, guys. I'm going to do some close-up videos. I'm going to show, I'm going to do a little reel for you guys. So give you perhaps some pointers of how to get crafting, the basic techniques I use. And on that note, have a great day, a great week. And yeah, wherever you're playing airsoft this weekend, have a good one. Take it easy.